Hey everyone, and welcome to another lovely November's Day. Today we are going to be continuing the theme of the month, and I think you can already guess what that is. It is another Bishoujo figure. This is the Darkstalkers Felicia, which is the second release of the Bishoujo Darkstalkers line. And as you can tell, she has very similar features to the other Bishoujos I've looked at recently, and the Morrigan in particular. Now we're going to take a closer look at the Bishoujo Felicia. As always, we'll be evaluating the figure's paint, sculpt, any gimmicks, issues, and general thoughts on the figure. And knowing Kotobuki's track record, the sculpt will always be incredible, but the boxes lately have been pretty cool as well. So we'll quickly go around. There's the main viewing window, Shinya Yamashita's art on the side there, the Capcom officially licensed product logo, the actual art that she is based off, and it's just fantastic. I love Felicia. Again, just like Morrigan, she is a mainstay in the sort of Capcom Versus franchise, even if she doesn't appear nearly as much as Morrigan does. You can see other product shots here, as well as the tease for the next figure, Lilith. And we'll see when the Lilith does come out if they tease any more, because sometimes the Bishoujo line cuts it short, sometimes they do more. I would love it if they continue these lines, because there are a lot more characters to do in Darkstalkers. And then on the last bit, there's a claw scratch, which is nice. So let's take a closer look inside the box. And here's the Felicia, mostly set up. I say mostly because she does have a support stand to help support her hair, because the back of the head is quite heavy. But for this review, just because it's for a short time, I'm going to record it without the support stand so you can see what the figure looks like in a much cleaner sense. So we will be evaluating paint. Well, we will be evaluating sculpt first. And as always, the Bishoujo line is just incredible. This is amazing. The detail work, the pose, the hair, everything is immaculate. I really, really, really love this figure. Now, I'm a decently big fan of cat girls, not a big fan of cats, but Felicia is sort of like the OG cat girl, at least from my childhood. I played Darkstalkers pretty early on, did not understand it and do not remember a lot of it besides the characters. And you can see just how amazing this sculpt is. There's just hair flowing everywhere and every which way, a lot of amazing detail work. The tail is long and winding. There's just some amazing work here. I love the wild proportions of Felicia herself with these massive cat feet and massive cat claws. As well as the huge mane of hair, just really, really suits her. And is pretty true to her as a character, which is fantastic. There's some cool texturing done on the figure itself. I'll zoom in a bit so you can see the fur detail is actually like textured in, which is fantastic. Like, it's not just a clean figure, so to speak. I just like that they've added that little extra detail, and that is true to every bit of like fur on the figure. I love all the detail, like the paw pad detail, the claws. Her face is sculpted beautifully. Her eyes look incredible. I will go through paint and everything later. Just everything about this figure just screams quality. It's just so much to look at. It's just fantastic. Her body proportions are also quite good. Nothing really exaggerated beyond what is actually meant to be exaggerated, which is cool. And I like that she's not super busty for the sake of being super busty or anything like that. It's just a nice, clean, slim figure. And it matches Felicia as a character, which is great. In terms of paintwork, this is a fantastic job. Compared to the Mai Shiranui, this is definitely another step up, just because the Mai was great, probably even perfect if not for the finish, and much like the Morrigan, the Felicia is just spot on. The mix of finishes, the semi-gloss on the hair, a matte finish on the skin, and I don't quite know if it's matte on the fur and claws, but it all works together to make an amazing figure. Going in closer to the face, you can just see how amazing the sculpt work and paint is. She's got little fangs, the cat eyes are so well done, the ears look lovely, the multiple tones of the hair look great. It's just an amazing looking figure. Claws again look good. There is also shading on the claws themselves, so you can see they get lighter as they get to the point, which is so cool. You can see the strands of the hair all different colors, and it reflects the light pretty nicely. Zoom out a bit more. The white on the fur is quite cool. Detail on back of her feet, very similar to the main claws as well. Her base, now I didn't understand it before when I saw the Morrigan base, I just thought it was a cool base. Apparently her base is based on her stage in Darkstalkers, and Felicia's is the same. It's based on Felicia's stage in Darkstalkers, which is cool because otherwise the base is a little bit odd, but if it fits with the character theme, then that's perfectly fine. The skin tone is fantastic on Felicia. It's so good. Love it. Love everything about this paint job. I can't really find any faults in it, which is great. I don't want to find faults, I just tend to find them. Even on her back, it's pretty good. There's a tiny little mold line where the tail connects, but that's perfectly fine. There's no issues whatsoever with that. And yeah, it is just probably the best Bishoujo I've looked at for a while. And that's not that I don't like the Morrigan. The Morrigan is absolutely amazing as well. It's just that I tend to like Felicia more. And that's more based on the character, because I would say that the Morrigan is pretty damn near perfect as well. I don't think I've got any issues with this figure. I can't seem to find anything. I love the pose, love the main viewing angle, love everything about it. I don't think that I can come up with any issues with it. Granted, I did not put in the support stand, and the support stand does not have a place to plug into on the base, so it might just sit off to the side or sit under the hair and just like hang out due to friction on the base, so that might look a bit weird, but in terms of how the figure is without the peg, it's absolutely incredible. The peg itself might ruin it a bit, who knows, but that's probably the only thing I can think of that might be a negative on the figure, but if it is, it's not a major negative at all. So overall, I think the Felicia figure is pretty damn near perfect. I don't know if there's any quality control issues with anyone else's or anything like that, but I definitely have not found anything wrong with this figure. This is just incredible. This is fantastic. I love what Bishoujo's doing lately, and it's good to see them back because they were a little bit silent for a while and doing a lot of the horror and My Little Pony figures, which weren't my thing, and I heard they were quite good, but I'm glad to see that they're back on with fighting games, and I wouldn't mind seeing some of the newer Street Fighter stuff or some newer Tekken stuff. Even though I'm not a big fan of Tekken, I do love their designs. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you all next time.